Well, it is another beautiful day in the Helen of the West, and we are here greeting you again, getting you out of bed, getting you in the right frame of mind to face another awesome day. Let's see what's going on in our news desk. We'll be back.
Good morning. Work at the St. Jude Hospital reconstruction site is expected to pick up pace in the coming weeks. That is according to Health Minister Moses Jean-Baptiste, as the Labour Party administration marks its 3 years in office later this week.
The 4 buildings which we've been talking about, these buildings, I can tell you now that the works that are happening now are wiring works, plumbing works, and that kind of thing. So these buildings are almost completed. It's just the wiring and the plumbing that's happening. Very soon as the Prime Minister makes the announcement, you will see the major works to completion happening. But we are pretty confident with what we see on the ground in the buildings and around the construction site. We are pretty confident that when the major works begin, it will not be very long before the government can say, yes, we are moving to final commissioning of the hospital.
In his New Year's address, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre announced that 4 of the buildings on the site would be completed by June 2024. Of course, we're in July now, and the Health Minister has disclosed that the work on those buildings is almost done. The island has recorded its 3rd fatal police shooting for the year. Maxwell Leo, alias Hennessy, was shot after orders by police for the vehicle he was traveling in to be stopped were ignored. A few residents from Marigot say the community is grieving the loss of what they describe as a leader in that community. They say that Leo was a loving and loyal man who looked after residents in the community.
He was holding all of us together, you understand? So nowadays, when you just take one of ours now, what you expect us to do? How you expect us to feel?
A warning has also been issued by police to those who attempt to obstruct the police officers from carrying out their duties. The Ministry of Tourism has embarked on a novel concept to teach 60 vacationing students about the importance of the tourism industry to the local economy. The camp is being held under the theme Unlocking Opportunities, Educating Leaders of Tomorrow.
The core mandate of the camp is to really immerse our youngsters into tourism-related activities, have them experience what it is that some of what it is our visitors experience on island when they are in country. So the camp is structured in a way that they would understand tourism, the importance of tourism to the economy, but also be part of that experience that we boast about and market to our visitors.
The students will participate in destination field trips, visiting places of interest on the island, in addition to the traditional arts and craft activities which take place at most summer camps. A group of 24 secondary school students, meanwhile, embarked on a 2-week journey on Monday to learn about genetics. The activity, organized by GenTech Analytica, will help build the students' understanding and appreciation for genetics and the important part it plays in areas such as health and disease.
There are a lot of genetic conditions in our population that we have no idea what it's about, like what causes it. For example, Down syndrome, maybe Pfeiffer syndrome. You're not sure, like your child has that, but you're not sure what to do next. So we saw the need to educate the young students about that, so the next generation is fully aware of that. Now, this is just one of our many initiatives to increase genetic literacy. However, I realized when I was at secondary school as a young student, there weren't any programs like this available. So I felt like we needed to start young to ensure that the next 10 years we're fully equipped and fully knowledgeable about the conditions in our population.
The program runs for 2 weeks and has attracted 24 students with diverse backgrounds from several secondary schools in the north of the island. Consideration is being given to hosting a similar activity in the south, of course, once there is enough interest. These are your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Well, definitely some interesting headlines. Thank you, Kendall. We'll be back in a minute. Emancipation is coming. The 1st of August, we celebrate Emancipation Day. But what does it really mean? And what do we have planned on the island? Is it enough? We caught up with the CDF. Emancipation recognition, emancipation celebration. Of course, the CDF leads the charge when it comes to things of that sort. And, their mandate is quite heavy, but we can't deny the fact that they have always stepped up and try at least to try to make sure that, strides have been made into the right direction when it comes to recognizing our history, recognizing where we are coming from as a people and where we are heading. So Mrs. Sim right here, of course, is representing Mrs. Wynn. I keep saying Sim. I don't know why I have Sim in my head, but Mrs. Wynn right here is representing the CDF, and you know what? We are seeing the effort being put again. So you're going to expand a little bit what the CDF its plans is for this time around in this celebration.
I mean, the CDF's role is really one of, we have two strategic pillars that we address when we do programming like that. And it is one of capacity development and capacity building. So you develop and you build capacity. And the other one is one of advocacy. And for us, doing programs like that really does address that. Emancipation is not an event for us. It is a re-education of claiming who we are as a people, really raising that awareness. And as the theme says, enkindling our consciousness, really delving deep into people's consciousness and educating them on what emancipation really means. It's not a day. It's not a holiday where you just stay and relax. That is why we've made it a month of activities. So we give more meaning to emancipation. And it is through the educational programs that we're doing, people are beginning to become more aware of what emancipation means to us as a people. How we see things, the things that we do, how we do it, our interactions, our thought processes. It's all about emancipation. I mean, Carnival just ended, for the National Carnival just ended, and part of that came out of emancipation. And it's for us to make those connections as an organization and to really sensitize the public as to what it is or what it means to be emancipated, finding ourselves, reclaiming who we are, understanding who we are, and telling our stories, because who's going to tell your story if you don't? And for us, the work that we do is really focused on that sort of advocacy, that sort of capacity building, and that sort of developmental work to ensure that we reach people at all stratas of the society, whether it be at the schools. I mean, in the first year, because this is a 3-year program, in the first year interim, and this is the final year, which is the legacy year. In the first year, one of the things that we did, we collaborated with Dawn French. She wrote a children's book. It's a coloring book that tells the story of one of our heroines, Petronille Dwin. And it means that children are learning her story through play, through interaction with that book. So they don't have to sit and read a whole history book, but through coloring, through painting and reading key things about her life and how she became who the slave heroine that we have come to, appreciate the work that she's done to fight for our freedom. Children are learning that at that level. So there is something for everybody, and we want to take away that misnomer that emancipation is just a holiday where we go to the beach, we relax, we chill. No, it's a time for us to reflect on our past, but our past should not dictate where we're going or our future. It should inform our future so that we make better choices. We see things differently and we can look in a positive direction to build as a people, to build upon our nation. And this is what the work that the CDF strives to do with programs like emancipation. And we keep saying emancipation is not an event.
A brief run through of what the month entails for us.
You have lectures. We have a number of collaborators, like the Folk Research Center. We have the Anglican School. We have the Reparations Committee. We work with Ubuntu. We work with ICA. We work with a number of collaborators, because for us, we can't do it alone. We need all of the players that have a stake in emancipation to contribute to that education. So we've engaged them, and we have activities that a lot of them will be doing. Like we have the Uprising in Sufre that's happening on the 1st of August. We're working with the Sufre Regional Foundation. We're working with Sufre Action Theatre and the council in Sufre. We're working with them to put on that production. So they all have a stake. And when people have a stake in something, there's that appreciation for what you're trying to do and that ownership, because for us, ultimately, what we're trying to do is to ensure that the CDF is not always holding the hands, but going into the communities and doing the work so that people can now take ownership of it and begin to educate people at the community level. And the whole range of public education. Can't quite remember all of them right now. But
That's
it's
fine.
a
I know
whole
it's a lot,
education.
but we definitely can log on to the CDF, and of course we'll get a
you can log
listing
on
of
to
what
the
is
CDF
going
and the
on.
programming is there.
Right,
Yes, and we have the Anglican School is putting on the Breadfruit Festival. This is the third year they're doing it, and this year is the legacy year. We want to leave a legacy behind. We don't just want to be the talkers, but the doers, so that people can see and interact, people can be educated. So Petronil Dwine, one of the legacy projects that we're thinking of is doing a bust, because the intention is for the Dennery community to create a park where we erected that sign of in the first year, and a bus will be erected. It's not going to be erected this year because, of course, you talking cost. So, but the work will commence, and we're going to put that bust in Dennery. It's going to be created by one of our former sculptors in St. Lucia, and it will be erected. There is another legacy project that we're thinking of, which is a wall where you have all of the names of the enslaved coming up on that wall. It may be about 13 feet tall or something to that effect, and that is one of the legacy projects we want to leave behind. And there are a number of things that we want to do. And for us, it's not, as I said, you talk, you do the lectures, people quickly forget. But when there is that visible thing that people can see, can interact with, you can go to the bus, you can read on Petronil, you remember that because you can see it, you can interact with it, you can manipulate if you like. Yes.
Listen, it's wonderful. We can't wait to see what's unveiling and how it is that we can get involved as well. But like you said, the work has started, and that's a good place to start. Wonderful. All the best. And I've learned something. I've grown to learn that when you're talking emancipation and you want to get full, solid history and these things, and you want to get that sense of grounding, there is one gentleman that I like his discourse on topics of that nature. Mr. Earl Busquet is one of those. We are here with Mr. Earl Busquet, and if you know anything about this gentleman right here, you would know when it comes to things like emancipation and the history of black people, Afrocentric people and all of that, how passionate this gentleman is, and how much of a wealth of understanding and knowledge that he holds. So it's always a privilege, when you catch up with a gentleman like that on occasions like such. So, Mr. Busquet, I am really honored right now to have you in my presence. Good morning.
And I'm pleased to be here.
Wonderful. We're here because we are definitely talking emancipation. I'm going to ask you first up, are you confident or comfortable with where we are as a people, as St. Lucian people, in terms of how we recognize the amount of importance we give to the emancipation, recognition, and celebration?
I'm glad that we're on the way. We have a long way to go, but we have started. Every race starts with the first step. And while this is not a race, we are taking the steps gradually, and that should be maintained.
What are some of the roles that you intend to take on in ensuring or realizing where it is that we need to get when it comes to that mission?
Well, this year will be the third of 3 emancipation months, and it's supposed to be the last of 3, but I would expect that there would be more. So what we would have to do is assess where we're coming from, where we are today, so that we could consolidate where we go tomorrow.
Interpretation wise, what does emancipation means to us as a people right now where we are? What should we gather? What should we hold dear to our heart when we think about emancipation?
We need to try to come to a common definition and understanding of emancipation, because it was not for us what it was meant to be, and it was not meant to be for us what it turned out to be. Emancipation was supposed to have been a free liberation process, but it was one in which we are beginning a new period of slavery without chains in our feet, but around our stomachs and our pockets.
Oh gosh, you see how deep this gentleman can get. Listen, we're gonna need a whole program for you for we to go in depth with this. But in the interim though, in terms of ensuring that our young people are more connected with this sort of information, this sort of messaging, I don't think we are doing enough in terms of ensuring our people understand who we are, the people, where we coming from, where we heading. What do you think can be done in terms of ensuring that our young people, sort of grasp a little bit more ownership to this, so that they could start taking it a little bit more, to heart?
Well, when the Prime Minister launched Emancipation Month in 2021, he set certain objectives. One of them, which we haven't achieved, is taking African and Caribbean history, true African and Caribbean history, to schools, and taking Creole and our African connection to schools. This being the third Emancipation Month, we would need to see where and when we start to take Creole and true African Caribbean history to schools.
Absolutely. Now, I know you have to go on to your panel discussion, but in closing, if there's any message you'd like to send out there as we're heading to this recognition, it's yours.
Yes, we need to be able to identify and to know who we are. We are part of the 6th region of Africa, but we are also a Caribbean people with a unique identity. And as St. Lucians and Caribbean people, we first need to identify who we are before we identify ourselves as part of who we already are.
Absolutely. Mr. Bousquet, I need a whole sit down with you, but we'll talk about that in the future after, certainly. Wonderful.
Guys, how you doing? Today I have an awesome exercise for, who am I going to target today? Yes, all the lazy people that decide they're not getting off their beds. Those are living on carbon
Not
too.
Me.
Those are living on carbon too. Hey, don't come for me. But yes, okay, so this exercise is going to target people that just on the bed like to texting their fathers, their mothers, their boyfriends, their sneaky links. All these and those, the cheaters, the non-cheaters, that's for them. They just want to stay in the comfort of their room, their bed. This exercise is for y'all. So if you know you're lazy, don't come to the gym, you just want to stay whole day and text, follow me on this one. So you see, I'm texting. So you don't want to get off the bed. The first exercise will be hitting the legs. So it's simple, you're texting. This is a leg exercise. You want to thin out your legs? Hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see? I'm thinning it out and I'm still texting.
Well, as you texting, focus.
I'm focused. I'm focused. And 8. Okay, guys? So again, 3 or 4 sets of 15 or 12 or 18. This will thin out your legs. So that's 1.
Looking well calling people.
The second exercise, you're still texting, but you're lying down on your back and your feet are together, and then you're closing it in. You're hitting your inner thigh area. So again, you're there texting. No. Texting, but you're still working out. My core is engaged, and you're switching it in. Again, you can give 3 sets of 30 for this exercise. All right? That's 2. Again, you're still lying down texting. You have one foot down, the next one is extended out. Coising and raising. This one targeting your stomach, your ab area, and just put it out, and then again you're still texting, but you're still getting the job done. So that's the whole point of it, while working out, while texting in bed. So you do one set. So imagine I showing you how to do lazy exercises. So you're just getting it good. Again, you're raising the next leg. Remember, 3 sets of 30. You get it done. You still want to target the stomach and the bum area. Again, you texting and you switching left to right. 1, 2. Again, I'm still texting, but I'm getting the job done. 3, 4. Again, you see the twist. You're still on your bed, you get the twist done. Again, 3 sets of 30. The next exercise, whilst you're texting, you're going to do leg pull-ins. Texting, 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 texting the daughter, texting the husband, texting the wife, and you just on your bed and stretch it again. 3 sets of 30. You're hitting your core and your thigh area. Right? Last but not least, again you're down and you're pedaling whilst texting. So you're getting the exercise done. Whilst you're texting, you can even set your timer and time yourself different seconds, but you're on your bed or you're watching Netflix. You don't have to be texting, but you're watching Netflix. And you still get it. That's tough. I burn. Hey, I'm human, not a machine. I burn. Also, another exercise, you can give scissors whilst you're texting. Not I haven't dropped my phone as yet. So just hitting the lower body, you're targeting your stomach down. All right, guys? So, if you cannot come to the gym or just feeling lazy on days when you are locked in curfew, you cannot leave the house, you can get no excuses. You can get it done at your home, on your bed, with your phone in your hand, with a friend. Make a WhatsApp video call, and you and your friends just get a group workout done. That's how easy it is. It's called technology and being fit and focused. Good morning.
And there you have our show for today. I hope you're going out and be awesome. Have a wonderful, wonderful day today. And let's do this again tomorrow right here for another DBS This Morning. Take care now. Bye, guys.